Hey everyone, welcome to the Withering Effect, episode 55. Today's date is July 27th, 2020, and I am Duds, or Duds versus known to the rest of the interwebs.
And I'm Jimbo. You may know me as Jimbo Slice 23. Let's talk about what we've been up to this week, Duds.
Well, other than the fact that I almost forgot to keep recording after doing the pre-show, I almost hit stop.
Oh, wow.
I am out of it tonight.
That's a first.
Yeah. Lots of stuff has happened this week. And I'm going to start with something that's not on the note sheet, and it's technical issues.
Technical difficulties.
I ran into so much tech crap this weekend. It's not even funny. So, it started with, I had been talking about wanting to get a new microphone. Wells gave us some tips on microphones and stuff. Just so happens I work with a guy who's in a band. So he said, hey, I've got backup equipment I'm not using. Take it home, try it out, see what you like. So, bring it home, hook it up, plug it in. Windows says, hey, I found your drivers, installing them now. Drivers installed, good to go. So I said, sweet. Hooked up one of the microphones, pulled up Audacity, set it to the correct microphone settings. Testing 1, 2, tap, tap. Nothing happens. I was like, what the heck?
Oh, boy.
And then I was like, okay, maybe it's a Windows problem. So I went to Windows, went to input settings, microphone, clicked the correct setting, went back to Audacity, record, test, tap, tap, nothing.
What?
What the heck? 4 hours later of going through 5 microphones that he handed me and another XLR box, nothing. It all is doing the exact same. So at that point I just quit, hook up the old mic, get everything back to the way it was, so when we record it today, we'll be fine. Whatever.
It's got to be a simple thing you're missing for all of them not to work like that.
We figured it out today while I was at work. I had brought a laptop with me so we could try to duplicate the problem I was having here to see what was going on. So,
yeah,
Windows was finding the drivers and installing the incorrect driver.
What?
If you go to the XLR Box's website, it says if you're using Windows 10, here is the correct driver, download and install. As soon as you downloaded and installed it, sure enough, it worked. So, yeah, that's how we fixed it.
So Windows is just installing its version of the driver or something?
We're thinking because it's an old box. It's like 10 years old, but it still works. He knows it works because he uses it on an almost daily basis.
Yeah.
So we're thinking it was installing legacy drivers, which are good for like Windows XP and Windows 7, but not good for Windows 10.
Okay.
So yeah, that problem solved. The second problem I had was replay mod.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I went through all the steps, downloading replay mod, recorded a quick scene, because working replay mod still confuses me a bit. I watched a couple tutorials to make sure I was getting how I wanted the camera to work and stuff. And I think I'm slowly figuring that out. I go to render, game crash. So, what the heck? Opened it up again, started messing around, realized that my save was still there, hit render, game crash. And I couldn't for the life of me figure what was going on. And finally, I think I texted you over Discord, and I was like,
yeah,
dude, do you have anything you can tell me? And you sent me the tutorial you watched, which was a huge help because I realized what it was doing when I was doing all this stuff. He's like, yeah, this won't work for Optifine unless you have this Optifine, blah, blah, blah. I had Sodium installed for Fabric still.
Yeah.
Because I have liked using Sodium. I've been using Sodium instead of Optifine this entire time, and I haven't had any issues. It's been a good program. I really liked it. You miss the zoom key every once in a while, that's for sure. But they have data packs and stuff now that can replace that. But Sodium and Replay Mod were not friendly, and that's what was crashing the renders. As soon as I unloaded Sodium, hit the render button, worked like that.
Bam. Got it.
Perfect. Rendered it in like 30 seconds. Was done. It was cool. Put it in the episode today, which would be Monday for you guys. And it's a little netherite suit up scene.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you had seen the episode yet.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a big deal because I finally was able to get netherite. So, but yeah, that's a little camera replay mod thing.
One thing I'm having trouble with replay mod is at the top left corner of your screen, it says record.
Yeah.
And if I were to show my view, you'll see record. Like if I were to record with OBS, I can't get that record off the screen. I can't get that off of the top left. I don't know if you know how, but I'd like to kind of record both views, replay mod and myself at the same time sometimes. But in my view, you get that record on the top left of the screen that won't go away. So I got to figure out how to get rid of that. If anyone knows, please message the Discord or anyone.
Yeah.
Please let me know. It's bothering me.
Yeah. Back to tech issues I've been having. At that point, I was like, you know what? It's time to break for lunch. So I go to get lunch, get in my car, crank it up, and the center console, nothing. The screen didn't light up. Yeah, screen didn't light up. Couldn't turn the radio on. None of that stuff. Couldn't figure out what the heck happened. So I drove, picked up lunch, came back, ate, took it apart, started jiggling wires, thinking it's got to be a short connection somewhere. Can't find it. Turned the car back on, and sure enough, it works again.
Well,
It was just like the weirdest thing.
that is weird.
There's that. And then the last thing, yesterday, as I was uploading my video, I went to do my Mitomator image, and Mitomator would get to loading blocks, slab, and then freeze. Would straight up not respond every time. I then had to uninstall Mitomator, reinstall it, and it went back to work.
Wow. There are times where it's loading up where I'm like, is this thing going to load up on Mitomator? Because it does take a while, but yours actually froze.
Yeah, it would straight up say not responding and then give me a crash report.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I had to uninstall it, reinstall it, and it obviously worked because I got my image on my thumbnail now. But yeah, those were the tech issues I dealt with this weekend. And that's not even getting into the stuff that actually got done this week.
No, that was just all the fun stuff you did this weekend.
Yeah. But this week, I worked with you and Carl. We built the Withering Effect Studios on the server.
Yep.
Not in real life. It'd be really cool to build that in real life, but...
Yeah, me, you, and Carl, you imagine us building a studio in real life?
Yeah. Controlled environment, no exterior sounds. It would be amazing.
Just Apple products everywhere.
And then my one PC, because I won't convert. Just to spite Carl. It's not even that I don't like Apple. It's just to spite Carl.
Good enough reason.
And then I decided to do a stream where I grinded for netherite. Those in the pre-show know what happens next. I died. Lost everything. Literally everything. Because when I came back, I threw the rest of it in the lava too.
Sheer rage.
Yeah. Spent the last 45 minutes to stream getting my gear back, which cost me over a stack of diamonds, by the way. Enchanting stinks. Like, can we rage on that for a second? Enchanting is horrible. I felt that I got lucky in my enchanting to get my gear back, which is really sad because I had to enchant something on a level 3 and I was getting efficiency 4. Or not efficiency 4, I was getting efficiency 3 sometimes. Protection 3. Like, these shouldn't be level 3 enchantments.
And some of the level 2s are better than the level 3s. If you really look.
Right.
Sometimes you can get lucky with the level 2. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's definitely broken.
And then later I went and what I've done is I did get all my netherite. I was able to netherite up everything. So if I fall in lava again, I'm good. But I wanted to put a gold chest plate because what killed me was I was still wearing my elytra and I was just switching my pants back and forth. I had no fire protection really on anything. And it just killed me super quick. So I was like, well, if I'm in the nether now, I don't need to be flying. I'll take my elytra off and I'll put a gold chest plate on. That'll save me from the piglins and stuff like that. Well, gold is supposed to be really nice to enchant. High ratings and everything like that. And even then I had to combine 3 chest plates to get a good one.
Okay, 2 things I want to bring up. I feel like enchanting has gotten nerfed due to the grindstone. I noticed once the grindstone came in, because you can take enchantments off, it's giving you crappier enchantments because the grindstone's here. You know, it's like you get this, but we're going to take some of this away.
I don't necessarily disagree with you at all. That could very well be it. Or, because the grindstone came out the same time the new 114 villagers did, is that Mojang's way of saying, why are you enchanting? Use our new villagers.
Yeah.
You're enchanting? No, use the villagers. Use the villagers. Villagers are better. And it's just like, villagers are laggier. And I would much rather use this setup than that setup.
It's way more difficult to get your gear by enchanting everything. It's way easier to get it with the villagers.
And I think that's the setup now. I think enchanting is supposed to be an early game. You throw stuff on things and you're good. And then you're supposed to work your way into getting villagers with good trades and then upgrade your armor again. I think that's what Mojang's wanting you to do. And I don't like it. I think you should have choices. It's like, I dealt with villagers in my own survival. I was tired of villagers. I didn't want to trade with villagers anymore. I wanted to use the enchanting setup.
Mm-hmm.
But, nope, that cost me about a stack. Well, I say that. Crock got about 30 of my diamonds because I bought like 6 or 7 mending books. So
you need those.
Yeah.
My second point is I always go gold boots. If I were to change any of my armor, it's always the gold boots because for one, you can get soul speed enchantment added, and you can use Frostwalker. Depth Strider isn't going to help you in there, but Frostwalker allows you to walk on magma blocks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I always go boots just for those 2 enchantments because they help you get through the nether a little easier. I do wear my wings though. Don't wear my chest plate in the nether.
I was going to say, that is a very good point. I've totally forgot that Frostwalker over Depth Strider would be a good thing.
Yeah, for the nether.
Especially in the nether.
I don't know if it works with the lava like it does with the water. I'm really not sure. Never.
It doesn't. No, you're dead.
Okay, so yeah, it wouldn't make any sense to have it at all then.
But my thing is, I'm not a fan of the soul speed enchantment.
I don't mind it.
I get that there's huge biomes with this stuff now, and crossing it is kind of a pain.
Mm-hmm.
But if you already have an elytra, it's just a hop skip, or even an ender pearl.
Yeah.
Most of these things are cave-like now. You can throw a pearl rather safely in a lot of the nether now.
Unless you're in like basalt deltas.
Yeah, that's the one I would not throw a pearl in.
Yeah, there's lava all over the place. It's fun when you have the soul speed and you're running through the soul sand valleys, past all the mobs. They can't really get you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it's way safer to fly. Why wouldn't you fly if you could fly? But just in case, I always go with the soul sands or soul speed on the gold boots.
And it's nice that I feel me and you play a lot the same way, but you look at this, something as simple as which armor piece do you switch out for gold now? And I would never have chosen boots. But you're like, hey, this is why you should choose boots, and it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not going to do it, but your argument makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and you can still put feather falling on there with all the other ones. Like, you can put all them enchantments on it. It can get expensive, but you can do it.
I think for me is because I have such a hard time getting that feather falling enchantment on boots is why I won't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Croc.
That's what I was looking at, his comment.
Croc's in the live show Patreon perk, and I wanted to mention we're having so many loading issues. I kind of want to bring up running lithium on the server. I already had this discussion with Carlock, and he shot me down. But the hermits are using lithium, and they're having excellent performance. Granted, they definitely have a beefier server than we do, but it wouldn't be nice to be able to do a test run and see how it goes.
Yeah, there's just as many people on that server as there is on ours, and the main thing is the chunk loading. That's about it. I'm fine with everything else. Everything's going really well. Sometimes mobs can be a little choppy, but chunk loading is the main issue.
Well, it helps for me, the fact that I played with sodium for as long as I did, and the person who wrote sodium writes lithium.
And
I love sodium. I know Brownie had some issues with it, and yeah, that's fine, but it's worth the test to see, because I had no issues with sodium, and I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I haven't really got to try it, but sounds good.
It'd be worth at least a discussion. If people are okay with flying into the unknown, guys, I've basically gotten used to that now too. But it would be a nice little thing to at least discuss and look at.
Yeah, at least test.
I upgraded the storage room to the Wither Rose farm. We got a lot of chests now, but that's kind of it. So, what did you do this week, Jimbo? Because you set up a perfect segue and I interrupted it.
I'm going to go with my segue. Speaking of replay mod, 5 minutes ago, I've been playing a lot with the replay mod. I'm loving it just because it gives you the opportunity. For instance, I had to go to my new base and my new base area. That's another one of the things I've done this week. And on the way there, like, there's just so many things you can catch that's, going to put out good content.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few things along the way that I added, but the replay mod covered like the whole adventure. It covered it perfectly how I had it in my mind, to where, it'll jump back to me on the ground and I'm doing something, I run into something, and that's another thing. I want people in my, who are watching my videos to see everything. I don't want to leave out too much, even though there's going to be some things, and that's where replay mod comes in. If I don't catch it with OBS, replay mod has it.
Yeah.
And I can always come back to it. And I love that. Love that. I'm actually getting pretty good with it. Just saying.
I know. I've been watching your videos, and that's one of the things that forced me Sunday morning to sit down and learn it.
It's a game changer. It is. Like, I don't have to worry about a cam account and moving it to certain spots because I just hit play. And the replay mod catches everything.
See, and this is what upsets me, because I spent so much time getting this backup computer ready for a cam account to make it easier on me, and replay mod's still easier and better.
Yeah, even if you want like a still image, you can do that with the replay mod. You don't really need, your cam account to do that. If I were to leave the area, let's say, like for instance, we were building that Withering Effect Studio, and I left the area a few times to gather blackstone, to gather quartz, for the build. The area I leave, like the building area, it de-renders. So replay mod can't catch any of that footage, just to let everyone know.
Yeah.
If you leave that area, it's only going to record where you're at.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, Duds and Carl kind of shut down on my screen, and it kind of popped over to where I was. I couldn't record anymore, so keep that in mind. If you were to do a time lapse with it, make sure your character running replay mod is where it needs to be.
And that might be a good idea. So, like, if you have a camera account, maybe put the replay mod on the camera account.
Yes,
because then you can just move it into the area and set it there.
You can catch everything in that position.
Yeah,
that's a good idea, and you can hide the camera account.
Exactly.
But besides that, I built a couple shops in the shopping district, including the Withering Effect Studio, and found my future base. We made it to my future location. But that's about it. All that will be out in my episode today, I think, which is nice. Wednesday. Today's Monday.
Yeah, I'm still salty about your shulker box shop.
Nothing yet? You get anything from?
Oh, I'm not spending any more diamonds there.
There's always like a load of diamonds in there every time I go by. It's great.
I did go mining this weekend because obviously I spent over a stack of diamonds on getting my gear back. And I was like, I have less than a stack of diamonds now. I need to go do some mining. So I dropped into the mine again, and I think I'm back over 2 stacks of diamonds. It was successful. I only spent like 2 hours mining. And I ended up with half a stack of ore, and I said, okay, with Fortune 3, I'll be fine. And sure enough, yeah. At least Fortune 3 enchantment still works nice.
And I'm sharing the diamonds from the rocket shop, Papa Rocket.
Papa Rocket is still very nice.
You still get Papa Rocket profit?
Hopefully the Wither Roses will start selling a little more. I need to talk to Carl because I want to decrease the prices a little bit.
Yeah.
I was thinking a lot of people were going to be using them for farms. And it kind of seems like a lot of people won't be using them for farms. So it's like, well, maybe we should lower the prices as a way to use them for black ink now. Because I think that's more valuable. So
it might be easier to farm the roses than it is squid nowadays.
I think it is.
Because of the mob cap.
But we actually have Minecraft news.
Do we? Well, let's jump into it.
Look at you in the transitioning this week.
Yep. That's me.
Okay, you failed that one. All right, but snapshot 20W30A. We've got some changes, and I think they're very welcome changes. One of them I question a little bit. But anyways, the snapshot modified how respawn positions are chosen for beds and respawn anchors We'll talk about that in a second. Lanterns can now be waterlogged. Soul lanterns can also be waterlogged. That's my confusing thing. They tweaked Bastion Remnant chest loot, and chest and Bastion Remnants are now more likely to be located on top of gilded blackstone. Now, I want to go back to the lanterns and soul lanterns being waterlogged.
Okay.
I like it because that means we now have new underwater light sources other than sea pickles and sea lanterns and full blocks. But it confuses me because let's face it, if you see a lantern underwater, the light has been gone because there's just a candle in the lanterns or a torch. So if you put it underwater, the torch is going to go out. It won't produce light. But as far as I can tell, these waterlogged lanterns and soul lanterns still produce light.
Yeah, didn't think of it that way. Always saw the lantern as encased, like the torch is kind of encased in like a glass lantern, but still it's...
That could very well. I'm just saying I've never seen a lantern stay lit underwater. Maybe I'm wrong. Because, let's face it, if you put a lantern that's completely watertight, that means it's probably airtight too, which means there's not going to be oxygen after like 30 seconds of a flame burning.
Good point.
So it's going to go out that way.
Yep.
That being said, soul lanterns. I think this is a perfect opportunity to play with some new stuff. Soul lanterns, soul campfire, soul fire in general, soul torches. How cool would it be if you could have fire underwater?
Yeah, fire water.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of contradicts itself.
Yeah, maybe soul fire is the one fire that you can now have underwater. I don't know if you'd want it to do any of the... Well, it could do the bubble effect, I guess, because it's got to be on soul sand, right? So, that could be cool.
That'd be pretty neat to see. Maybe it fits, maybe it doesn't.
I haven't been to a Bastion Remnant, so I don't know what the loot's like. Looking at the loot table, I don't really see much of a reason to go there.
I did a little Bastion rating.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's right, because you got Pig Step.
Yes, I did. That's actually in the next episode. But you'll get to see that.
Well, they can see that in my episode this week, so...
Yeah, it's in yours. The remnants, I noticed, these chests are hard to get to. If you have a pearl, some ender pearls, it's a lot easier to get around in there.
Mm-hmm.
I encase myself in when I go to open these chests. If you encase yourself and they can't see you, I don't have any trouble. They don't get aggro or anything.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just not close enough, but like I uncase myself and leave, and no aggro piglins are after me. So I'm still not sure how close they have to be, or if they need a line of sight for you to open these chests. But yeah, I kind of made it in and out relatively easy. The ones that I did aggro was more like I got into my ender chest by accident or something,
Yeah.
But then again, it was easy to get away with an ender pearl.
I don't get them getting mad at the ender chest thing. It's like, trust me, you don't have anything in here I can steal. This is all my stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, right?
How could you confuse this chest with your chests?
But the loot in general, I did find a netherite ingot.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, and I also found an ancient debris block and the scrap, ancient or netherite scrap. So I found those three there. I did find pig step, and which was the hardest thing to find. What else was there? Enchanted diamond swords. Didn't find any diamonds, but I did find 2 enchanted diamond swords. Enchantments weren't very good, but that's what I found in my 2 bastions I raided.
We'll see. I watched the Exuma video on this snapshot, and from what he said, certain bastions has certain loot tables.
Okay.
And you basically hit the jackpot on Bastion loot table.
Yeah, it was the one where the it's got the magma cube spawner in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one that had the better loot. So look out for those ones.
Other than that, let's talk about respawning on different block positions, because this is a change I'm really excited for, as little as it is. So respawn anchors will prioritize cardinal directions over corners. That's kind of trivial for me. The big thing is beds will prioritize the side of the bed the player entered, and then it circles around the bed depending on if that side or space has been blocked or deemed unspawnable or too dangerous to spawn.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really cool. My biggest complaint with beds is that you get into a bed and then it always takes you out of the bed, and my face is always slammed up against a wall. Because for some reason, Mojang thinks a player gets out of his bed in real life and faces the wall the bed is against. Makes no sense.
Yeah, I see that.
So now, whenever you leave a bed or you respawn, this could happen if you die with a respawn anchor too, you will spawn looking at the respawn point, whether that be a bed or an anchor. I'm really enjoying that. And the mechanic for dangerous stuff, it just circles the bed from head to toe to back to the other side head, which is real nice. And if for some reason every block you can spawn on is deemed too dangerous to spawn on, it'll spawn you on top of the bed.
Yep.
So you're safe now. I'm hoping this kind of goes to portals also, because how many times have you set up another portal and it been over a lava lake, you walk one step and fall down?
Yeah, that's almost happened to me.
So I'm kind of hoping that's an idea. Maybe they can put that in there. Maybe they've already thought about that, because I haven't had that happen in a couple years. Maybe it's better now.
I think they do give you like a little obsidian platform, if I'm not mistaken. Like a couple blocks to where you can at least walk out to a block.
Okay.
I think, if I could imagine it right. But that's it for the changes or snapshot.
Yeah, that's it.
I got some bug fixes. I'm not going to read the title.
Yeah.
Because they're weird. You guys will never remember it. First one, we have unarmed Vexes raise their arms in an offensive way when attacking. That's been fixed. Large entities do not generate correctly. They get cut off. Saw some of those. Villagers often get stuck while trying to go through the door at the same time. Villagers spam doors by opening and closing them really fast. I saw that. Mobs can drop items with duplicate enchantments. Never noticed that second one, or that last one.
I think someone on the server had that. May have been Aubni or Carl.
Like in an armor?
I think it was a sword or something. I'm not sure. But we've had that happen once on the server already.
Yeah, I never noticed.
My chair is getting squeakier and squeakier by the episode. I need to learn to sit still.
So it seems like we're getting a lot of little bug fixes and a lot of little changes, modifications. Kind of curious when 1.16.2 is going to come out. It's got to be soon.
It's got to be soon.
Been a while.
Hopefully they're like, these guys don't even have Optifine from 1.15 yet. We might want to let those developers get a chance to catch up.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Optifine and Replay Mod will follow pretty quickly behind 1.16.2, because once that updates, everything else that you downloaded and installed, you got to redo all that too. So let's hope it doesn't take too long, because I'm having a lot of fun with it. I hate to lose it.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and hop on. We're actually running behind this episode. We might want to speed it up a little bit.
We have a listener comment from Rebel JC. He asks, something I've thought about a lot recently is the different needs and wants of the Minecraft community when it comes to the game development. How do you think the Minecraft developers balance the needs of technical players and builders and PvE players? Do you think that the recent update have more features for one part of the community over the others? That's a pretty good question.
Yes. I don't know so much about PvE players. PvP players, I know, are constantly thinking they got the short end of the stick ever since 1.9. I don't want to sound mean or rude, but I don't care. I like the newer combat stuff. I've seen what Jeb's doing with his new combat update coming, and I really like that too. I think it finds a bit of a better balance. I never enjoyed the spam clicking.
No, me neither.
And like I said, I'm not trying to sound rude. I just don't like it. I know a lot of people are like, there's technique in it. I'm like, yeah, but is there? So, yeah, don't hate me. But I'd never like that. I'd like the new technique better, that you have to time attacks. A shield is very much should be in your repertoire. If you're combating with not so great armor, really, if any kind of armor, you should have a shield anyways, because they stop creeper blasts. I don't know how much it is PvP. I stink at PvP, so that's why I never do anything. You guys can be like, hey, Duds, what do you think about this in PvP? It's like, I don't know. I stink, so it stinks too. That's how it is. I think everybody on the server could beat me PvP.
Yeah, I could probably beat you, and I'm not a PvPer.
Yeah, but I think the way Mojang develops things is definitely for survival players in mind with a little bit of, I shouldn't say that. So I would say like 40% goes to survival players and like 30% map makers, and whatever they design for those two needs to generally have a secondary aspect that Redstoners could really play with. And I think that kind of makes up another 20%, whereas the last 10% saved for PvPers. I gave map makers such a high thing, not just because of command blocks and structure blocks and things like that, but because they have access to all the blocks at one time, because most of the time they're creative builds and they're building adventure maps, stuff like that. So anything that Mojang makes for survival generally transfers over into map making. So that's a great thing.
There's a lot more things you could do that you don't realize in map making. Like, they give you a lot to work with.
So do I think Mojang purposely favors one community over another? Yes. But at the same time, I think they have every other community in the back of their minds as they're designing things, if that makes sense. Obviously, the PvP community is kind of their own stuff, which there's another combat update coming that they've heard the thousands of complaints about the combat update, so they understand that they don't want to get rid of the 1.9 update, but maybe if they refine it better, that'll suit the one group of people that really feel they've been kind of shortchanged. So hopefully that answers the question.
If you think about this update, you got your builders aspect with all the new blocks you got. You got a ton of blackstone. You got, the wood in the nether, PvP or even PvE, player versus environment, that he asked. You got the hoglins, you got the piglins. You have that, so they gave you that too. In technical, I mean, there's a few, like the target block was introduced. Redstone has a different function if you right click on it, and they have new mechanics. With the piglins, you can now farm piglins a different way. You can now farm withers a different way. Like, they give you a little bit of everything. I think more of it is for the builders, just because all of the different blocks and environment they give you, and that's always nice to build in. The environment, a different environment. Yeah. So I think it's more leaning towards the builders, but I think they cover every community pretty well.
Yeah, I very much think that while their focus is one way, they are constantly thinking about everyone else in their back of their minds. They're like, hey, here's a little touch. Like, you think about the target block. That's such a simple block, but there's so much new redstone being created around this block now.
Yeah, there's things that I didn't know it could do that people are using it for. I'm like, wow.
I want to say Cass or Mazuma Games just put out a new item elevator using it.
Yeah.
So crazy stuff is being made with something as simple as a target block. But let's go ahead and move on to our Discord ad. This week, our Discord ad is from C3PO. Take it away, C.
Hello, interwebs. I'm C3PO, a member of the Withering Effect Discord. A great place to talk to fellow like-minded Minecrafters and to get to know the people from the show. Sometimes there are even puppy pictures. Don't delay. Join the Discord today. Link is in the show notes. Toodaloo! Duds made me say that.
All right, thank you for that ad. See, if you guys want to join the Discord, the link should be in the comments. The link should be in the show notes, wherever that might be. Don't forget to follow C. She's part of the Ripple Effect now, so there's shenanigans afoot.
A lot of fun.
But talking about Discord, I think this is everyone's favorite segment from the Discord, Block of the Week. Which, by the way, was really hard this week. You guys are not making it easy on me at all. But this week we asked you guys to vote on the following blocks: the Lodestone, the Lectern, and the Smoker.
And the winner this week is Lodestone. Congratulations, Lodestone, which is your favorite looking block, right?
It is the most beautiful block in the game, period.
All right. I saw that coming. Lodestone actually had 31 votes The lectern had 15 and 6 for the smoker. So the lodestone took it, you know.
And I tried to figure out why people voted lodestone, and I think it's because its functionality is still kind of questionable. Like, people aren't 100% sure how it works.
Yeah, probably.
But I never know with the Discord. You guys are crazy.
I feel like sometimes they vote on the way it looks, you know, is it their favorite?
Mm-hmm.
And then some vote on it for, can it be improved more than the other ones? So it's hard to tell what they vote.
It's never the same every week.
No, everyone changes their mind. As do I.
How dare you people have an opinion?
What? So I got some things about the lodestone. It's made with 8 chiseled bricks and 1 netherite ingot, so it's a little expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Can be used to alter the point where compasses lead. So if you right-click your compass on the lodestone, it will point to that lodestone forever until it's damaged, I guess. It can be used in all 3 dimensions. Really cool to know. And it's only mined with a pickaxe. If you use any other tool to mine it, it will break.
Gotcha. So I had the challenging aspect of trying to improve the lodestone this week.
Mm-hmm.
It was not easy, because honestly, I feel that they did a very good job designing the lodestone. I had to go researching what the heck a lodestone was in real life. So a lodestone in real life is what it kind of is in game. It's a magnetic rock made out of several different chemicals and stuff like that. The crazy part is that while they're naturally occurring, no one's 100% sure exactly what makes them magnetic. The prevailing theory is that a lodestone is created when it gets struck by lightning. That's what turns it magnetic, because that's really the only thing that has the force to create it. But again, that's just a theory. You guys might have found different theories out there, but this one theory piqued my interest enough to go with, what if lodestones could attract Minecraft lightning?
Yeah.
So you could finally, granted with the trident, you can summon lightning when it hits a mob. But what if with using a lodestone, whenever you had a thunderstorm, you knew exactly if lightning struck in the area, it was gonna strike on the lodestone.
Yeah, that could be useful. And they've been messing with lightning a little bit more because of the whole trident thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be something worth implementing. Makes sense.
But what about you? You actually had something for the lodestone.
Yeah. One thing I came up with, and then there was a listener in the Discord that had a pretty cool idea. My idea was the lodestone watch.
Okay.
Like, I'm trying to think of how you would craft it. Maybe a little small. It would consist of a lodestone, and then you definitely put it on your armor somehow. I never really thought about how you connected to the person. Okay, give me a break.
Either way, just go on to what it is.
Yeah, let's say you have the lodestone watch on. Someone has a compass that connects to your watch and could track you. Like if you ever needed to split up, you can track each other with lodestone watches.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of tracking one location, you can track a person by having a lodestone watch. Or maybe a lodestone on your armor or something. It doesn't necessarily have to be a watch, but use it to track someone.
Yeah.
Thought that'd be pretty neat.
That could work. What did our listeners say?
I got a comment from J-Man under the lodestone. He said, can now act as a chunk loader, but requires a steady supply of stone cobble as a fuel source to stay active. The fuel source thing, it seems a little sketchy, but the chunk loader, that sounds pretty neat. I've never heard anyone try to use a block as a chunk loader before.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the lodestone be the block for that, but like implementing a block to load chunks sounds pretty interesting.
My only worry is like with chunk loading on like SMPs and stuff, people are obviously going to load farms, which are just going to constantly add lag to the server.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea, especially now that you can load chunks with a command in vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as, hey, load this chunk, and it works now. I think that's been around since 1.14, maybe 1.15.
Yeah.
So to have a block that does it, it could be cool, but it also could be extremely overpowered.
In single player, probably way more worth using.
Yeah, I could definitely see in single player, because in single player you play however you want.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, but that's the only comment we had on the lodestone. That's why I brought it up.
That's fine.
It's really hard to change.
It really was hard to think of stuff. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into our main topic this week because we're running short on time.
Okay.
But we actually have a cool topic this week. And one of the things this show is kind of known for is we're constantly talking about updating and improving the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my thought is, hey, I'm going to take a section of Minecraft that I think needs improvement, come up with improvements. Jimbo's going to take his couple sections of Minecraft that he thinks need improvements. And they're not your standard, like, oh, the end needs more biomes. It's not like that. We're taking aspects that may have seemed forgotten. Mine's not really forgotten. I think mine's been complained about for like the last 6 months on thing. But I think I have some cool ideas to fix it.
Yeah.
Jimbo picked one that I would have not thought of, and I think it's a really cool idea. So let's start with that one, and we'll go to mine next.
I picked animations.
Yeah.
I feel like the movement, I know it's a blocky game, but the movement's a little too blocky. Like I noticed if I'm watching someone use a sword, they do like the whole roundhouse windmill effect with the sword. The elbow doesn't bend or anything. And then I was thinking about dungeons and how dungeons players, they actually run. It looks like they're running and they're swinging the sword in different motions and stuff. I would like more animations like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, like maybe the knees bend when they walk instead of, just flat, straight-legged walking and jumping everywhere. It's just, I think we need a little bit more animation in the movements. Maybe emotes. I put that down. You brought that up a while ago.
Yeah, I'm calling it. I think emotes will be in the game at some point soon.
Mm-hmm. It'd just be cool to have your own little thing, this player's little thing. And hopefully we can make our own emotes. That might be a little too much to ask for, but I mean, they're giving us custom dimensions and custom everything now. Maybe we can customize emotes, but they're not even here yet, so can't really speak for that. Another animation I would like to see is like kind of similar to the Nether, how they have the atmosphere. Maybe in the overworld, you get like a gust of wind and maybe the trees and the grass will move slightly. Mm-hmm. Now, I know you see this a little bit in shaders, but like the wind animation, I think would be really cool. I think it would give it more life, the survival aspect.
I think you can do this, not so much with leaves and trees, just because there's such a block. With Optifine, obviously you have the texture pack that has like the little bushes coming off the leaves. That looks really nice. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit easier to do that. But with flowers and grass and stuff like that, you can use kind of the animation you use for seagrass and kelp.
Yeah.
But instead of having it actively moving all the time, just have like a 1% chance every, 100 ticks or something like that. Mm-hmm. A leaf and a chunk will wiggle or something like that.
Or like a wave type of thing, like one will move and then the next one, kind of like it looks like wind is going through. And maybe even hear the wind when it starts.
They would have to do it kind of how they've done the animations for the kelp and seagrass and stuff, just because having a chunk constantly look to see if it has to do a wind animation would, again, cause unnecessary lag. So it would definitely need to be some kind of animation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing it's hard to think about is, how too much animation to where things don't run right.
Yeah. And I'd love this idea. I had no clue about the animations and stuff, but the second you said, hey, Dungeons has movements like this, I want it too. I was like, that makes so much sense. It's already in a Minecraft game. Why not?
Yeah. I think it'd be easy to throw in, but...
Yeah. Wind would definitely be a cherry on top.
Yeah, that's pretty much all the animations that I was thinking of. I could get into like biomes and stuff, but that's more of like a biome change than a animation. So what about your change?
My change is something, if you've been watching any YouTuber play Minecraft lately, they've probably complained about this. And it's inventory.
Yep, seen it.
Inventory bugs the crap out of me, especially with 1.16 and the fact that I now have to carry a chest plate around when I have my wings. The fact that a hoe is now a valuable tool that I'm going to need to carry around, I guess. We got shulker boxes, which were a great step forward, and I don't know what we would be doing without them right now. But even with shulker boxes, inventory feels small again. Because let's face it, when we're building, we go to our storage room, we fill up the shulker boxes with the supplies we need, we get to the location, we throw all the shulker boxes out, even the ones we don't need. Like, why is my iron shulker box always out for some reason? I don't need it, but I still throw it out anyways. And then you grab all these different blocks to go build, and your inventory is full again, but you have all these nice shulker boxes, but you can't carry the shulker box with you because you have to constantly put it down to get items out of it.
Yeah, I've been there.
Herein lies my fix for inventory. Everyone's kind of been calling for backups or backpacks, so I'm going to start with that. You definitely need some way to hold items in something like a shulker box without having to set it down to get to it. Whether that be a new kind of armor chest plate or something like that. Maybe there's an enchantment that could cause you to access a secondary inventory window. Maybe make it, if you have this enchantment, you can't fly or something like that. I don't know. But there definitely needs to be a backpack. I think everyone's talked about backpacks as an easy fix, so I don't want to stay on those very long.
Mm-hmm.
Another easy fix would be to expand the amount of inventory slots. Forget the backpack. Instead of 27 inventory slots, not counting the toolbar, we make it double.
54.
So, yeah. Easy fix, kind of. I say easy fix. I don't know how hard it is to code this stuff. I'm sure people who know this are just like, shut up. This is really complicated.
No, I follow.
Yeah. Another easy thing I think should be added in is already a thing in vanilla tweaks. And it's the ability to show you what's inside your shulker box other than the little stack of stone, stack of stone, stack of stone, stack of cobblestone, and 22 more. It's like,
yeah,
we need something better, and Vanilla Tweaks does it. So I think that should be a staple in the game also.
Yeah, there's been many times I lose time just taking out boxes to see what's in them, knowing what the first couple items are in there. I'm like, I wonder if like my books are in there. I'm looking for my books. I can't find them. And lo and behold, they're in a shulker box buried. That's, I'm not able to see the name. It's nice to, organize your shulker boxes, but like when you have a project, you might need 5-6 of those just for the build. So you're going to lose track of all your organization that way.
Yeah. And then my last fix, which I think is the best part of this, is something that's already in the game. And that's saved toolbars. It's in creative. You can save them and flip through them and stuff. I think that should be in survival. Like, I think your inventory, instead of it being 27 random spaces for items, should be 3 toolbars.
Okay.
Or maybe split it up a little different. So, like, when you're building, you can, I don't know, maybe either a shift tab or maybe an alt F something, and it'll cycle through your inventory toolbars. You don't have to pull open your inventory. You just hit the 2 buttons and you see your toolbar flip. Maybe you have a toolbar of just all your tools and weapons. Your next toolbar is a block palette for something you're working on.
Ooh.
The final toolbar is a block palette for something that's on the other side of the building. So if you're constantly moving around, you just tap, and now your full toolbar is changing. So if you have a mob sneak up on you, you don't have to grab your sword out of your inventory and put it back on your toolbar. You could just cycle through, get to your tool section, and bam, you're right at your sword. You can attack and go right back to building seconds later. I think that on its own, without adding anything to the game, to anything to inventory, no expanding inventory, would clean up inventory alone, because you don't have to have a sword, a pickaxe, an axe, a shovel, a hoe, a bow, your food constantly in your building spot, where you only have like 3 slots open for materials. Now you have all 9 of them open for building materials.
I like that. I really like that. Like, you could have like you said, your tools in one, your building blocks in another, and me, I probably have like a terraforming palette in the next,
Yeah.
And that would be perfect if you ever wanted to switch up. Like if you're doing one side of the building, won't take long. Not as long as it would.
This is one of those ideas that popped in my head, and now I want it so bad that I can't even describe it. It's like the template's kind of already there in creative. Obviously, you'd have to do a little bit more tweaking. But when you see the fact that you can now do the tab change for game mode, it's like you could do that for these toolbars. And instead of having an inventory, you just have toolbars. And it would drastically change how inventory works. And now if you do add a backpack, well, now you can carry random stuff, load up your toolbars, or even the chest monster shulker box at the beginning of every build isn't so bad now because you're loading up toolbar specific. So when you're done with the toolbar, you can get rid of an entire section. And it's an idea that makes so much sense. I'm just like, it needs to be in the game.
Yeah, like I said, I really like that. I do have 2 things to expand on that.
Okay.
I saw a tweet from Cub Fan about inventory, and he mentioned to just make all the stacks double. Instead of a 64 stack, make it 128. Like everything will be 128 now. The pearls will then be 32 a stack.
That's not a bad idea.
I was like, you could carry more that way. That's not a bad idea. Mm-hmm. There's that, and one thing I mentioned on the Void Frogs to help with inventory management is not a sorting button. Yeah, I guess it'd be a sorting button. You hit a button that's on your inventory GUI. Mm-hmm. You hit the button and it just sorts everything. Bam. Just the way it's usually alphabetical order on that game, with certain items, like certain categories, and they be in alphabetical order. But it's sort through your whole inventory, and that happens to me sometimes. Like sometimes I won't realize I have 2 of the same items that can be combined, and it's taking up a slot. So that can help. That's helped me on that game, and I think it would be cool to have in Minecraft.
Mm-hmm. I think it could work too.
That's it for that. I mean, we're running a little bit late, but I can get into my last suggestion.
Yeah, let's do it real quick.
Okay.
Because I think our post-show topic's pretty nice too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My last suggestion would be mob bosses. Now, I've gotten into this a little bit before, but this is a little different. I'm not talking about like the big bosses. I'm talking about mini bosses.
Yeah, you're talking like a brute or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the brute. Kind of like temples and ruins are just way too easy to get in and out, in my opinion. I mean, once you've conquered a desert temple, it's all the same. You just go in there and get it now. I mean, the trap got you the first time, but not the second or third or whatever time. So it's pretty easy to get in and out. What if there was like a mob in there, like say you got your desert temple? What if there was a desert mummy running around there? And I know Tango Tech had a mob for that, a desert mummy, but his is like a boss battle, a mega boss battle.
Yeah, you're not talking about that.
No.
You're talking about you're just talking more powerful, I don't know, husk.
Yeah, something that's going to give you trouble. It's going to give you trouble down there. It's not going to be easy to just go in and out.
You can't go in there with 2 swipes of your sword and you're done.
Yeah, exactly. And same thing with like the jungle temple. I was thinking maybe a giant jungle snake was slithering around it.
Yep, not going in the jungle anymore.
Or like a jungle monkey, it doesn't have to be a snake, but something in there that you can battle to get to these treasures and maybe up the loot a little bit because of that. That'd be cool,
Yeah, I like that.
The jungle temples aren't really, I don't know, known for their loot anyway. Like there's...
Yeah.
I think I go in there and grab the pistons are the first thing I grab.
I was going to say the redstone trap is more important to me than anything else in the jungle temple.
Yeah. Yeah, but that and like ruins, ocean ruins. I know you have your drowns that come about, but maybe a couple guardians around the ruins, something to not make it so easy to go in there.
See, this is the one spot where I would disagree with you, just because if you do get like 3 or 4 trident throwers at you,
that's
a little bit tough. So maybe
that
increase the chance that drowned with a trident will spawn in the ruin.
Yeah, maybe there's extra tridents throwers. Yeah.
Which would help the farming community because then they would build drowned farms near the ruins.
That was my first idea when I came up with a trident farm was they spawn in these ruins. Hopefully it's like a witch hut type of deal where they keep respawning.
Yeah. Not
the case. Once they're dead, they're dead. They don't keep respawning there. That'd be cool.
But I think that's going to do it for today's show. We covered a lot of stuff. But before Jimbo reads us out, I want to say a huge thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. Our milk level patrons are aubni, Crock, ohbeep, StoneFigure, TheOfficialCCL, viperoustuna, and YDYT. If you too would like to get access to exclusive benefits and extra hours of content each month, consider joining us at patreon.com/thewithering effect. I don't know if you heard that, but I whistled through that.
I didn't hear a whistle. That's pretty funny.
I totally whistled.
Well, if you like this show, you can share it with all your friends and on social media. If you listen on Spotify, follow us. Or if you listen on Apple Podcasts, leave us a nice review. Doing any of these really helps the show reach out to more listeners. If you would like to get in contact with us, send an email to podcast@thewitheringeffect.com. Tweet us, leave a voice.
Get you for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Leave a voice message or join our Discord where you can have a chat with everyone who works on the show and fellow listeners. All the links are in the show notes.
Yeah, this show's been brought to you by Jimbo and myself, but also our digital producer Carl, who helps make sure the show ends up where it should be. The amazing music you hear in the intro and outro was created by the one and only Decoy. Everybody's social media info can be found down in the show notes. You guys have been so awesome. Thank you so much for the support, and thanks for getting withered with us. You should probably go drink your milk now. Bye.
See you guys.